big hello and a very warm welcome to Brand Equity with me, Sonali Krishna. Well, we're coming to you from Goa Fest 24, but it's with a twist. It's happening in Bombay, in Powai. But don't you worry, we'll ensure that the conversations are as spicy and relevant to the industry. Having said that, look at my heavyweight panel. And I'm going to start today also with a slight twist. I'm going to allow the context setting to be set by Jitender Dabas, who's actually a man who's been quite clear about what he expects from Goa Fest 2024. However, the themes that he wanted to address have not been addressed by Goa Fest, the main stage, and hence I'd like you to open to say what you'd like the industry to address.
Okay, thank you, Sonali, for putting the spotlight on me. You know, I always feel that Goa Fest is a huge opportunity for all of us every single year. You know, it's a gathering of all the leaders who come here. And when leaders gather, there is always an opportunity to discuss the future of the industry. I mean, look at any other gathering, anywhere else in any other industry, that's an opportunity for us to do that. While we do discuss them, and that will happen naturally. When we meet, when we're sitting across, we're chatting with each other, that's exactly what we're discussing, what's keeping us awake at night. So some of the things that, that keeps, coming is we're at a cusp where everybody's saying there is AI, what will happen to advertising. I feel there are fundamental issues beyond that as well. For me, when I look around and we've been coming to Goa Fest every year, do I see the change of kind of people who are coming to Goa Fest? Is it a symptom of something else? Are enough young people out here? What's the kind of people who are coming here? And that brings me back to the idea of saying, are young people joining advertising today? If they're not, why aren't they joining advertising today? Is the advertising business model, does it need to change? Are we making enough money? Are the clients paying us the rightful value that we deserve? There is a relationship model that is changing between advertising agency and the marketers. Should we be discussing that? Of course, there are marketing leaders as well here.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of these issues which I feel that this is an opportunity for us to discuss every year to make the advertising industry stronger and more robust as we move forward.
Sure. So I think most of the questions or themes that you've addressed, which you'd like to discuss, the answer is no, right? Are we attracting young talent? No. Are you getting fair value for your creativity? No. Are we attracting enough young people at Goa Fest? No. So I'd like to kind of open this discussion, keeping your themes in mind, and first talk about this much hyped subject called AI. While it's very necessary for all of us to be looking at that with great detail, I'm going to start with you, Senthil, as the only creative man on my panel.
Wow,
yeah.
I think all of them are creative.
Yeah. Yes, but they're businessmen. Business strategy. So ask me, do you think this entire concept of that with AI coming in and your whole creative workforce is going to be kind of diminished because the AI part will take over and your job role per se will not be as relevant anymore because the AI machinery will ensure that they will throw up equivalent, if not better, kind of solutions. Do you agree with that hypothesis in the first place?
I think you used the word hypothesis, so I think it remains a hypothesis.
It is a hypothesis.
Yeah. I think who created AI? It was HI, human intelligence. So without human intelligence, there is no AI. AI is an application, right? It sort of builds on your prompts. And the prompts also have to come from a human being. It cannot be a bot which is prompting, then you'll go wrong, right? Then you'll never get to the end result that you desire, which you can do as a creative person. And it will never revolve around a core idea. It'll just be a story which is narrated randomly by picking up different instances that are available out there, putting it all together, and it'll throw up something at you. It actually vomits out something, right? But humans don't do that. Humans spend a lot of time thinking of the problem and trying to solve it in a beautiful, emotional narrative, which I don't think AI can match.
So you're not concerned?
I'm never concerned about these things.
No, don't give me this philosophical answer.
No, but
you're
that's
not
the truth of the
concerned
matter,
about
right?
the fact
I believe we shouldn't be concerned, but you should be using that tech to actually amplify what you already have.
Okay. Let
Using
me
it
ask,
as a resource.
As a resource, as a tool, right? Let me ask the two gentlemen who run extremely successful companies and are very successful professionals in this industry. Remove your industry hat, right?
Okay.
You are not representing, Goa Fest here, right? As two people who are very successful CEOs and who have been observing and are part of the advertising industry and are running very successful agencies, is it something that, he's a creative guy, so he'll be biased towards his discipline. As CEOs, would you say that this is something that will change your whole agency model?
Yeah, it will change the agency model. I mean, let's accept that, right? Any seismic shift in tech is like when we moved from physical airbrush to Adobe and digital platforms on making artworks and all of that. It changed the market, right? I mean, suddenly people had to change the way they thought. When we moved to social media, it changed the way advertising began to think. Of course, AI will change the way this industry will get structured. I'm looking at 2-3 things. One is the base bottom level of personalization at scale. Oh my God, I churn out 200 social media posts in a month. That kind of stuff will get off my chest. No client will call Dheeraj, in your social media post there was a comma missing. So we'll take care of that stuff with degree of efficiency. Either which way, this whole idea of efficiency in creativity is a misnomer, right? So AI will be a big help there. So you will start at a slightly higher level of creativity.
So you're saying the drudgery work
will go out, right? But the real use of AI is not in saying, oh, I use Mid-Journey to do this campaign, or use a certain software to do a shoot that I would have otherwise gone to Bangkok to do. That's really long tail and fringe use of AI. The real use of AI is if you can use data and technology to solve for problems, right? So when I was born in the business, you could write a headline, you could do an image, or you could do a video. Today you can use technology to solve the same brand problems. You can use data to solve the same brand problems, build utilities, build platforms, build programs. When we begin to do that, that's the central bigger role for AI, right? For example, I was talking to Dr. Marcus, who just did the health show right now. And so his business, very high touch scale. He advises people face to face on how to become healthier. But now he's using AI and tech to build a platform called Mito app, right? Which will not democratize health service to 100 million people. That, to my mind, is a real use of AI. Everything else, I think, is fringe and long tail.
Okay, interesting. Rana?
So I'll tell you, honestly speaking, let's say even a few months back, or maybe a couple of months back, I had a very hard line point of view about AI, and probably somewhere in the midway, So I was trying to figure out and give a point of view. It won't replace jobs. It's a facilitator of data, facilitator of information and all. But without getting into too much detail, so in the last 1 month, I've been spending a lot of time, with a lot of teachers and professors, sure. Trying to understand what is happening actually in AI. Because I really wanted to understand, because I suddenly realized that there was a world which was moving in parallel, and we were having very strong points of view, and we were getting into very strong perceptions about whether job losses will happen, it's going to assimilate. I can tell you one thing what I picked up with speaking to some of the very, very senior, absolutely learned professors who are actually working on it currently. And one of the things what I've understood is, number one, it's probably one of the biggest changes that's happening, right? It's fundamentally one of the biggest, like he said, tectonic or seismic or whatever you say, it's a change. And that change, number one, is something for humankind to accept it, adopt it, learn from it, and start using it. So the number one I picked up was start using it. Don't shy away from saying that, oh, it's not going to impact me, it's not going to. It will impact you. Will it start impacting jobs? Yes, there is hypothesis about what kind of jobs it will impact. The latest conversation I picked up is that the entire business consulting will disappear. No, I'll tell you why. What kind of conversations we're having in the room. They were saying, for example, like he said about data, you're talking about medicine, you're talking about oncology and cancer. It's machine learning, right? It's about putting the whole data into a machine, and then it just generates. It just keeps generating, right? Now, when you're generating, what are you picking up? You are picking up so much information that the more sharper you're going, the more sharper you're asking, the sharper the conversation points are becoming. So it's not that you're getting into a wrong information. It is not that you're getting false information. It's about you becoming whether it's generative AI or, the way things are moving, it's absolutely massively differentiating for the whole thing. And I was completely blown when we did some conversations and we did some test studies to figure what could you do and what could machine do. Simple visual, simple copy, and we didn't even discuss advertising. So there was one little study we did on oncology, and there was a cancer thing that we were trying to say, since 1961, how many patients have had this particular disease, and what were the success results, what did they have to do, and where? Which hospitals in the world are you going to get this information? It took around 25 minutes to gather information about zillions of patients or however number of patients, what did they go through, what kind of a thing happened, what were the test results, what did they have to do, and what was for that particular thing. Now that's mind-blowing.
Okay, I just want you all to take a pause here, right? Lots has been said. I know this whole potential of AI, like Sam Altman making a statement saying for the advertising agencies, 95% of your agency is, going to be wiped out. I mean, all grand statements, but he can't know about everything, right? That's not his expertise. He probably doesn't know how the agency, model works. Having said that, to both you gentlemen here on this side, I want to know if all of this comes true, right? What both of you have said, let's say we're in the future. It's happened, right? And we're using these grand tools. What will be the key difference between a McCann, a VML, right, a Havas, and an FCB? Because there will be this great access all of y'all will have, all of you rich agencies, right? I'm sure all your holding companies are spending billions of dollars trying to invest in, the greatest AI, machinery. So we'll have this sameness of kind of products and strategy and creativity. And so, let's say I'm a client. Assuming the future is possible, I become a client. I'm saying, who do I pick?
So that's the reason this industry exists. All automobiles manufacturers have the access to the same technology, right? It's our job to position them differently.
Yeah.
You buy one automobile brand differently from the other one because they stand for different things. Now, but all of them have an access to the same technology, right? All of them know how to make automobiles. But eventually, what as a consumer I buy a certain particular kind of automobile for safety, other one for probably comfort, the third one something else. Similarly, the way we are differentiated today, A agency will say we have the best cultural understanding of this particular country. B agency would say, well, we are the nimble and the fastest. The third one will say we are the best network agency in the world. So that's not going anywhere. So therefore the idea, and that's a good question, the idea of differentiation is not going away from this world.
You don't think you're going to become commodities?
No. Because I'm just giving an example of no other industry has become a commodity because input doesn't change. It's our job to position the output. So therefore, as I said, automobile industry is an example, software industry is an example, all companies are, and there are harder values and there are softer values. You will always differentiate companies and people through softer values. So therefore, I don't see that changing in any way. And the funny part is, I'll continue from what they said. The whole world is consuming AI through just one headline, job losses.
Exactly.
There is an over focus on how many jobs will AI lose, and that's the headline, that everybody is easy to consume. We are not getting into the second part of what it is going to enable. How is it going to make things better?
And to be honest with you, Jeetu, I don't think anybody has the answers.
Yes, but that's the most exciting part.
Yeah.
What will never go away is you will have to persuade people to take decisions.
What about you, Senthil? How do you think you'll be different? Because Senthil's creativity will be via this AI tool, right? This larger than life tool. I'm just asking you, what do you think? And please be candid. You can have a contra view to the CEOs.
No, not because I want to have a contra view, but I truly believe that AI is an application which is going to build on an idea. So that will never ever change.
Yeah, but everybody has the application, na boss?
Correct. But who has the idea? So you come back to the originality of it, right? Why are we here at Goa Fest? To celebrate ideas that have never been done before, right? AI will never be able to do that. Let me state that clearly.
Why do you say that?
Because it will only add the sum of the parts of what exists. Different ideas which have been done in different places, usko add up karke, it'll throw a solution at you which you think is an interesting idea, right? But it will never beat the original idea, which only a creative person or a creative team can come up with. So the originality is going to win the game.
So how will a creative department change?
We are already started using AI as through WPP. We have the open AI system, and these are all learnings and tools and applications that you would add on to your idea. So that is the reason we are called the world's largest creative technology company. And creative comes before technology, right? There's a reason for that. Because without the creative part, the technology can do nothing. You've got to brief, like in our advertising agencies, the brief and the strategy, and that has to be, the direction has to be very clear for you to take a creative leap, right? In this case, the creative leap has to happen first, the idea has to come first, then you use AI as an application, as a resource to build, amplify, and like the gentleman here spoke about, the ease of the menial jobs, which is your daily social media posts and all that the AI can take care. But then without an idea at the center of the universe, there is no campaign, there is no communication that can really thrive.
Is everybody in agreement with this? About what he's saying?
Partly because I think from what I'm getting from him is exactly what, let's say, what we are doing now. So, like, there are two parts to this whole story. What we don't know about AI is how much can it do tomorrow. I can give you an example that when ChatGPT's earlier version was there, even for the last 18 months, people were questioning what will happen, what is going to happen, maybe things will happen. The moment the ChatGPT 4 happened, which is the higher version, it's completely changed all conversation. I don't know whether you've been following in the last 3 weeks since the new version came, there's a complete shift of conversations of AI. And it's again saying what it can do now, because it had gone a bit of a conversations about it can adapt this, it can do this. Now suddenly it's gone into higher end conversations because the new technology that has come in is absolutely crazy. It can now suddenly start doing stuff which is much higher gradients and all. So currently, maybe I will stand with what he's saying because that's what we know. What we don't know is what's coming up. And I think the faster we keep moving with that parallel technology which is of AI, and we know where it is going, and which is what GT was saying, that, forget the jobs bit.
Don't forget that.
Because my point is, what? Again, if you go into facts and figures, I won't be able to quote you exact numbers, but let's say when computers happen, or when digital imagery happened and this happened, there have been these kind of movements in every phase of our life, and jobs have gone, right? What they're seeing right now, as of now, the current figures that they've seen globally, or what they're predicting, that number, percentage, will be lesser than the earlier ones that has happened. It's just that this technology is so alien that people are just now jumping the gun and saying jobs will be gone, this will happen, that will happen. Apparently, it's not going to be as bad as what we are thinking.
I'm pretty sure of that.
No, it's pretty sure. That's what, at least, if you're following the global people who are working on it and the kind of figures that have come out, especially after the ChatGPT's 4 upgrade, they're saying that's not what we are talking. What we have to understand, and maybe, I don't know how smart we are as a nation, but I think there is a parallel world which is moving on AI, and there is a world which has to move faster with AI. That's where I see the gap.
Yeah, I feel that better tools lead to better creativity, right? I mean, if there wasn't underwater camera and the kind of, say, computer design, James Cameron and Avatar wouldn't have happened, say, 2 decades ago, right? So the fact that AI is already giving you a head start, you're starting at a certain level. For example, already in our agency, for example, we are building storyboards, which used to take 3 days, 4 days, in 2 hours on AI. So when we are presenting our work, it's looking much better. You can visualize what's going to look like. That's just basic, right, at that level. So you are getting better tools. But the impact of this would be that the person doing creativity may now be an engineer who's not done creative. Enough engineers who've done creative, not those guys. But might actually be a left brain logic person who knows how to do beautiful prompts and knows how to make a machine sing to your tune. So the profile of creative may not be that, people who wear shorts have tattoos and long hair. The profile of creative might be, data-driven analytics engineers, and you might suddenly realize those people are doing fantastic creativity.
Yeah.
The other thing to keep in mind is that the idea of creativity is also shifting, right? I mean, yesterday when you sat to the award show or when you go to Cannes in June and look at the work, right? There's so much, for example, globally, FCB's just released work with Michelob Ultra, where we got a challenged person to do a visually challenged person to do the commentary on the matches, right? We've developed that technology. So good 20% of the work, body of work globally in our business already is tech-led, solution-led, platform-led, right? And that is the most exciting part of where we are headed.
Yeah,
right?
so you're becoming a bunch of nerds.
Therefore, Bombay, not Goa.
I would say, the only thing I would say is that, and again, the most interesting quote I heard was, engineers will eat up doctors' jobs.
Yeah.
That's the thing about AI we're saying. But coming to the fact that, look, at the end of the day, when technology came into, for example, medical science, the surgery it improved, precision improved, and the operations became from 7 hours to 20 minutes, right? It improved the surgery, didn't replace that. So the example that the creativity shall improve, become better. We will arrive at those solutions taking shorter time, but the direction is not going to change. The second thing is, I don't see fundamentally human beings changing. If you talk about Maslow's need hierarchy, there is a need to belong, there is a need to self-esteem, there is a need of actualization. Is that going to change? No, that's not going to change. You will have to address those needs.
Exactly.
That's not going anywhere. You got a different tool to do that. Probably you watch, I mean, in previous time, 100 people watched one video. Now those 100 will watch 100 customized video for themselves. But the fundamental need, emotional needs are not changing, and therefore say need for storytelling. The formats might change, but we need to get better and better at what we're doing. And that's what AI will do.
Yeah, and I think what I think, what we are also seeing is, and it's good for the industry. So if you are talking about our industry, I think I'm not saying what AI will do is good or bad. I'm just saying a technology leap like this is good for an industry which is so dependent on talent, labor, time, and efficiency, because the world has changed, the expectations have changed. We physically cannot move faster if we don't have super tech. We've got a lot of tech support, but I think what AI is doing is making us more efficient, much more efficient than ever before. And like this early adoption curve for many of the agencies, I'm sure a lot of these agencies globally are doing faster. My network is definitely far ahead of the curve than in India, I know that, because we are still picking up the thread. We are picking up the thread. I know that the UK and New York offices are partly, like sometimes I just feel that they've just moved far ahead because they've just adopted it quicker. And they're using it well, they're faster, anyway they were leaner. So I think it's also helping us in building a better cost system for us. Maybe the quality of people who are going to come on board are going to be very different from the lot that's going to happen. But I right now, like I said, cannot predict, but definitely not doomsday. It's quite exciting times.
Sure. I don't think anybody on this panel has been a doomer.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm the, I might be the doomer of the five of us sitting here. All of you have been boomers when it comes to like AI. Having said that, I think I'd like to close this subject in this conversation, saying that I think the jury is still out, right? We're still evaluating, and we'll have to see what comes out of it. Absolutely. But there is definitely no need to become ultra obsessive, right, about AI. And I think a lens of skepticism and cynicism should always be welcome. Let's move the conversation to more real ground level issues, which is really the current industry health, right? We've talked a lot, AI is going to do a lot of things, maybe, may not be, but in today's scenario with what you're working with, the kind of competitiveness you're seeing in the market, the kind of, affairs clients are having with different agencies, project-based, this, that, the other. How do you see industry health as of 2024? Please be candid.
Yeah, so because I'm saying that you can see it from two lenses. One is the lens that you put. I think you should just see it from a more macro point of view. I think It's a tough year.
It's a tough year,
Yeah.
2024, yeah?
It's a tough year. People are, I was telling somebody yesterday, you can't move from one goalpost to the other. Like when I see the entire media scenario and the numbers, people have said, oh, you've got a great IPL and then now you've got Olympics, you've got World Cup coming up. I don't think you can ever measure the economy or growth of people via that. Those are spends, right? It's a tough year. So India is naturally, this year is going to be a year of definitely
frugality,
a slowdown year.
right?
It is slowdown,
Yeah,
very clear.
yeah,
Clients
yeah.
are all waiting, and it's not that clients are going to open the purse just because you're going to come out of elections and the government comes in, because it's not going to be. There will be change of policies. There's a lot of stuff that's happening. There's macro issues, there's geopolitical issues. It's impacting everybody.
Sure.
Second, the point that's going to impact the whole world, and it will impact us, is North America, which is US, going into elections. And November will decide which way the world will again move. If there is a change out there, that's going to have again a dramatic impact on a lot of things.
Sure.
No matter what you say, you'll have to accept that if there is a change, which people are saying, it's going to impact every single country in the world. Because again, the policies will change, the way forward, the economic policies will change. So I think for me, and the approach that we've taken as a approach is that just caution to the wind, slow it down, keep it simple. You don't need to be too aggressive. Whether clients like you or not, if you can hold on to them, hold on to them. If clients want to, hear you out, then go out and speak, because the business is about survival, and you'll have to keep working at it.
You echo his thoughts?
See, I am more of a, if you were to ask me, slightly more of an optimist in that sense, because it's a more of a view that you take. Yes, when you sit in India and discuss with industry here, you might have a different hat. But when you travel and you look at the global overview, then you suddenly think this is it's a very good place to be. This part of the world is a very good place to be. Of course, there is a comparison, and I'll compare my growth rate with what happened last year to compare to this year. But on a whole, at a macro level, Indian economy is in a good shape, and it's irreversible.
Forget the Indian economy. Let's talk about the advertising economy.
No, I'm coming from that. So now the question is, when that starts to happen,
right,
the fact that there is enough for us to do to get the consumption, support the consumption, or get the consumption going. The question that you are asking at a certain level is that, having in that, if that's happening, are we getting a fair share? If you're indicating that thing, are we getting a fair share of that? Is the way the relationship models that are changing with clients, is that making our lives difficult? Yes, that's true. The way the business models are emerging, it's not as easy, as comfortable as it used to be. All of us have, here we've seen that from the days of, not just the remuneration model, even the relationship model. It makes it a little tough for us, because if there is no certainty of a relationship, if the models are changing, and therefore we all will have to adapt. So that's from that context, it's not an easy job to do right now if you're in this industry.
Okay. Okay.
I think our battles are internal. See, for the longest time, we've been blaming the outside system. We're saying, oh, procurement is screwing advertising.
Yeah.
Oh, clients are flirting. I think we need to look internal, inside our processes, our systems. Like, when was the last time the brightest, youngest people got hired in our business? Forget one agency or two agencies, right? We can crave that, oh my God, the agency is not sexy enough, blah, blah, blah. But we are the leaders, we are running the organizations, right? So why is our starting salary same as what people can earn driving an Ola? Let's change that. Yeah. So I think it's time.
That's a good.
I think our industry, right? Our industry is at an inflection point. If we don't change some of these fundamentals around how we are structured, how we work, how we bring in talent, right? How we are charging the clients, what are we putting our hands up in the boardroom? Are we saying measure us by social media metrics, or are we saying measure us by the business impact that I'm creating? I think these are times that those redefinitions are happening, right? I've played with some of those models at Burnett. We are doing some of that FCB, for example. At Burnett, we moved to an hourglass structure. We said we'll have leaders and we'll have young people. We went to Ashoka, we went to LSR, we went to Stevens, we went to Mica. We said we'll hire young talent. We upped the starting salaries. How did we get the money? We got the money by emptying the middle. Right?
Did that work as an experiment?
It worked because now if you look at Burnett, the young people, right? And I have an example to talk there. I mean, we are the only business. We say, oh, they're young people, hide them somewhere, right? We were having that chat with Jitu. You go to a startup today, there are 3-year-olds as founders, right? I'm the oldest guy. in that room, right? But we are scared. I mean, you go to a doctor, right? I was at Fortis for an emergency with a friend. The lady running the emergency room was 3-year-old doctor and completely on top of it. Advertising is scared of sending young people to meetings. So some of that, I feel, our battles are more internal than external. We've been swiping it off to say the environment that's screwing us. We need to reorganize ourselves for success, and it's possible.
If I just add to what he's saying, and I think because the two of us represent the ad club, so because I represent ad club as a president, he's a vice president. This is a common conversation that we've been having, that we have a ad club executive committee, and now we are starting to say that we are going to have a younger committee. We're going to start forming newer conversations, newer things. There's going to be a lot of changes that's separate, but I think that's a common conversation that we've started picking up, and we are saying that while a lot of agencies are doing, his is doing, mine is doing. Like I was just thinking when he was saying my average age of my CEOs of all the companies that I have would be around 38 or 39.
Look at Yannick.
Yeah, Yannick is 44.
Yeah, exactly.
So the point is, yours is also similar, right?
Yeah.
So,
He's younger than me.
So the point, So the point is that you need to take that. You need to take the punt and let them be. That's it. And then they fail or they succeed. So I think you're right, because I think this hourglass principle is something which is what I was trying to say. Now, if I link it back to that conversation we had earlier, that's how the efficiency is going to happen in the system. We've just got used to that box, that so many people will have to be there. This is your procurement, this is your scope of work. Now start putting people. Now imagine if you had to just do that with just 2 people.
Sure.
Impossible. We are used to a way of working.
Let me ask the creative man. Will it work?
Creative man.
This only young people and
And Senthil
on the top.
Correct.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lovely place to be.
No, fortunately, since we are talking about industry health, and we are in the industry of ideas, right? And ideas can come from anywhere, and they can come from very fresh minds, right? Young people who don't have the baggage of having been colored over the years to think in a particular way. You come in fresh and you attack a problem with a completely different solution, which the seniors could not even, fathom. As how did that happen? So I think young people or young blood is always important in the industry of ideas and in the business of ideas, and that will showcase how good your team is and how good your ideas are, and how do you blow that up. And with senior people, the job would be then to carefully choose those ideas, curate those ideas from the young people, and make sure that you drive the execution and you lead the execution to greater heights.
Fair enough. There's always a question which has been, I think, the question we've posed to the industry, and the industry has asked themselves the longest time now, I think over like 2 decades, about the talent we're attracting, right? My question to you is, for a minute, not attacking the industry for a change, I'm not doing it, and I'm saying, what is the quality of the talent available?
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Where is
Absolutely.
this talent?
We went to LSR and sorry.
No, please.
We went to LSR. We put up 60 people signed up for our. We got 60 and top end. We went to Ashoka. We hire from Ashoka every year. We pick up at least 10-12 people, all top end. They leave us after 3 years. They'll go and do an MBA but that's fine. So you have to change your mindset. Right?
No, I'm saying, but these people you are recruiting are very good talent.
Very good.
Yeah.
I'll if I had to just add to what he's saying is absolutely similar. We have a program which we created here called Spark, which is, you pick up people but not interns. You're picking up interns, people who are postgraduates from best of colleges. Maybe some of them are,
So you're saying this talent is basically available at the creme de la creme universities?
No. Talent is available, full stop. It's like if you're looking at IPL, nobody knew cricket players, and such phenomenal players existed. The moment somebody opened it up, every day you're hearing a new superhero getting created, right? So India, if we are saying, as Jitu was saying, if that's where the world is looking at us, saying that this is the country, then we've got fabulous talent. I think what used to happen, that there was a way we used to attract, and then there has been a between, when the world changed into a certain margin game. The word margin became the biggest, the common conversation. I think many of us are saying margins is good, but you also need to survive, and for that you need to have good work. Good work will have to come with great talent. For great talent you will need money, and for that money you need to start charging clients higher. Some of the agencies are charging clients higher. Some of the agencies are not charging clients higher, but there is a conversation that's happening across all groups to say, we are not going to generally go for a Swamvar. The many of us are saying no. If there is a client who's saying 8 agency pitch, I can tell you the 4 of us will say no.
I hope so.
Yes.
I
hope so.
I have been in a procurement negotiation where they told me that your second agency is 30% less than what you've quoted. I said, so be it, please go.
Go for it.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, there's a reason you're talking to me, right? There's a cost of building this organization, and they paid.
No. So there is an absolute right, and the point of young talent. The only thing is that, are we looking for younger talent for efficiencies or for excellence?
Excellent, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So as long as that those decisions are not started from efficiencies and move from excellence. Look, and Dheeraj had an interesting point to make, that we always benchmark with the past of saying, look, such and such college people used to join. We have this classic thing.
The
people from
IIMs
IITs and IIMs used to join advertising, nobody joining. It's a benchmark which is kind of fixated. We do that. The question was, at that point of time, you're across the table, people were equal. I mean, long time back, batchmates from college would go. Some will go to the client side, some will go to the agency side, and they'll sit across. Pretty much happens with consultancies. The power equation then remains same. When that changed, we lost a bit of that power equation. That is important, is to get that power equation back. And therefore, as Dheeraj said, sitting across the table saying, this is what we have on offer, this is the value that we create, and this is the value, therefore we would expect you to pay for us. That is very important.
Agree. And they're paying.
See, I always say that, look, at the end of the day, bad pricing, driven by either by consumers or by whatever industry, will eventually hurt the end consumer. And in this case, the end consumer is the marketing department. If it's going to be bad pricing, eventually all producers will cut corners to produce the same product in the price that you want.
Absolutely.
But at the end of the day, it is going to go back and hurt the end consumers. So therefore, somewhere I want to put a bit of an onus on those consumers as well, saying, look, if you think of us as a whole as an industry, then it is important that all of us take measures to do that. And I think some of the things that you're talking about, it is time that we start asserting our value.
You have to ask for outcomes in the boardroom. If you're meeting a CEO, if you ask the CEO, what's your business problem? I'll help you solve that. You solve for that, you can ask for more money. If you're meeting a CMO, you say, oh, I'll get you more social media likes. Of course, you'll get money for more social media likes.
One of the learnings, and this is naturally because what I have seen, at least the way we built up from ground zero, Havas just got built up ground zero. All my agencies are very small because I don't have legacy, I don't have size, I don't have scale, but all are doing well. Why? Because you don't have too many people. So the point is about getting people with talent. You're getting people with talent who are asking for more monies. You're getting them from better institutes or better, let's say, experienced agencies, or many of them are coming, like my design agency came from all the best design institutes. And they charge a lot of money, but the kind of returns they're getting from the clients are signing up them for a higher premium because you're saying, I will not go down. I am a premium agency.
But just for 1 minute again to get away from the advertising ecosystem and push the blame onto, let's say, the client ecosystem, right? Are clients only looking to do this constant negotiation like bhajiwalas, or are they also realizing that long-term partnerships with agencies, understanding of brand, not just performance marketing, brand building, all these things are important. You do a lot of campaigns. I mean, I know you're discerning about which campaign you'd like to work on, but is there that fundamental understanding with top managements, with clients? Or has there been a complete regression there? They constantly talk about the agency regression, right? I think it's about time we also talk about their regression.
Yeah, I think things have changed. I mean, a decade ago or maybe a couple of years ago, also it was quite different when, you celebrated the long-standing relationships with the clients, between the agencies and the clients. I think today there are not many of them still existing because every client or the team at the client's end is fishing for different ways to solve their problem, and they're not necessarily going to continue to work with the same team when they know that there are 10 other people outside the door and they have people are knocking at their doors, right? Saying that we
And
want
there are
your business.
there is
right?
heavy discounting in the
Yeah.
industry, heavy undercutting.
I don't know.
Yeah, and therefore they're experimenting. They're trying different teams and seeing if, okay, maybe this is better. So in that game, you tend to lose out, because what you need to build on is those long-standing relationships, and actually those drive you to come up with better ideas and be braver, because the foundation is strong as a team, as a partnership, right? Some of it is gone now.
Sure.
One of the things is there, and I don't know whether the others are seeing it, and it's more like an open-ended question, and this comes from the fact that India is such an important market globally for success and turnaround, where the others are growing at a 1% or 2%, you have this. So the Indian clients are naturally taking this veto right to say that I don't want to be, if it's a global client, can I have my own choice of an agency in this country? Now that's something very different
From globally aligned.
Across all markets, but India is the only country where the CMOs or the CXOs have, I'm not saying across everywhere, but have the prerogative of saying I can take this call because the market is more demanding, market is more challenging. I have personally seen some 3 or 4 cases happen in the last, let's say, less than 12 months where it's happened. Now that's a new phenomena which is happening. I don't know, if others are facing.
Different kinds of clients. I mean, for example, we have an Amul, where Touchwood, we have a fantastic, deep relationship. We've done projects with startups, very, very profitable. 3-month project. They get the top-end senior people on the table, very intense. 2 months, 3 months out, done. So in different kinds of clients, there are some who are working on projects but profitable ones, some on relationship, but the equal number of clients who are just fishing for the lowest bidder.
Absolutely.
Different cohorts, I would say.
Exactly. Different cohorts,
Fair enough. I think it's been quite candid, but before I leave, since I want to address President and the Vice President of Ad Club here at Goa Fest, I think, for whatever it's worth, that you made it happen in Bombay and Powai, I think one should definitely, thank you for ensuring that the momentum remains, right? And it could have been completely cancelled. So, instead of that, to have mounted something of this, of the same scale. So kudos to y'all and to the rest of the management committee who helped you through this.
Thank you.
But however, I must leave with some feedback.
Candid feedback.
I must leave with some feedback, otherwise it wouldn't be complete,
Absolutely.
right? It wouldn't be complete.
Absolutely.
Only makes us better.
Yeah. Since both of you talked about the importance of young blood, young thinking, all of that, and we are very happy that young people are finally leading, Ad Club and Triple A's of I, we do think that you probably need to look at your entire, your committee and look at a kind of rejig and infuse some real young blood, than keeping people who've been there and are there only because of seniority. It's been talked about before, it's been pointed out, but the young must come and kill the old, and the old must depart. So, maybe you should look at that, because the same committees, same thought process, same people, same discussions. I know you all have tried very hard as young people who have brought about a change, and we can see that, but I think there needs to be more push, just like you all have done in your agencies.
I can guarantee you that, that I can guarantee you and assure you that change is on its way.
Yeah.
And the kind of conversations that the two of us keep having and the kind of ideas that we are doing and stuff that is happening, like they say, you can't build Rome in a day. So, you will probably find a new emerging ad club, but it'll take its own maybe a year or two so to happen. And I think we are at it. We are working. We take your advice very seriously this time, and we ensure that the job will be done.
Well, on that note, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Always happy to have this candid conversation.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.